after 60. Most men believe that getting more medical tests means taking better care of their health. But what if I told you that several routine penis and sexual health tests could actually do more harm than good? I've seen men who came to my clinic anxious and ashamed, not because they were sick, but because unnecessary tests made them believe something was wrong with their manhood. I'm Dr. Laura Bennett, urologist and men's health specialist for over 25 years, and today I'm going to reveal 5 hidden penis health tests that every man after 60 should rethink before agreeing to them. These are not opinions, but facts, supported by medical evidence that most clinics never explain clearly. Before we begin, tell me in the comments, how often do you get tested for sexual or prostate health each year? Type 1 if it's more than once, or 0 if it's rarely. I'm Dr. Laura Bennett, and for over 2 decades, I've specialized in urology and senior male health, helping thousands of men restore confidence function and peace of mind after 60. During these years, I've witnessed a silent problem growing inside our medical system. Older men are being tested more than ever before, yet they're not necessarily getting healthier. In fact, many are becoming more anxious, confused, and even harmed by procedures they never truly needed. I meet patients who arrive holding long lists of test results, PSA scores, hormone panels, ultrasound reports, believing these numbers define their masculinity. They tell me, "Doctor, my results don't look good. Does this mean I'm losing my vitality?" And I have to remind them that a lab value is not a sentence. Medicine often forgets that men's bodies change naturally with age. What used to be a problem at 40 might be completely normal at 70. But the system still applies the same standards and interprets every variation as a potential disease. This leads to unnecessary biopsies, expensive treatments, and emotional distress that damages a man's self-image more than the condition itself. The truth is, many doctors are pressured to do something instead of explaining when doing nothing is actually wiser. The culture of over-testing comes from fear of missing a diagnosis, fear of lawsuits, and fear that aging equals failure. But when you're over 60, the goal of medicine should not be perfection. It should be balance, comfort, and quality of life. Understanding which tests truly matter helps you stay informed, calm, and in control of your health decisions. Before we move on, tell me in the comments, have you ever felt pressured to take a medical test you didn't fully understand? Type 1 if yes, or 0 if you've refused one before. One of the biggest mistakes I see men over 60 make is believing that more testing means more control. They get their PSA checked every few months, undergo repeated ultrasounds, hormone panels, and even Doppler scans, convinced that constant monitoring will protect them from disease. But what often happens is the opposite. These tests can create unnecessary fear and confusion, leading to procedures that damage both physical and emotional health. Let me tell you about Robert, a 67-year-old patient who came to me after a routine PSA test ordered by his primary doctor. The result showed a mild increase, something perfectly normal for his age. Yet he was told to get a biopsy just to be safe. That single decision changed his life. The biopsy caused bleeding and infection, and he spent 5 days in the hospital. The pathology report showed a slow-growing, harmless cancer that would never have affected his lifespan. But fear had already taken over. Robert insisted on surgery, terrified of the word cancer. After the operation, he lost his ability to control urination and his erectile function permanently. His wife later told me he withdrew from intimacy, feeling broken and ashamed. The tragedy is that he didn't die from cancer. He died 2 years later, from complications unrelated to it, having spent his final days questioning whether all those tests had been worth it. Sadly, Robert's story isn't rare. It reflects a painful truth. Unnecessary testing can rob older men of their dignity and joy faster than any disease. Many men confuse proactive health with aggressive intervention, but being proactive means asking questions, not accepting every test blindly. Overdiagnosis doesn't just waste money, it erodes confidence and relationships. Comment below, have you or someone you know ever felt worse after a precautionary test, type 1, if yes or 0? If you've always felt testing helped you. To understand why over-testing can harm men after 60, we have to start with basic biology. The male body is not a machine that breaks down suddenly. It's a living system that adapts and slows with time. Imagine your body like a classic car that's been running for decades. The engine doesn't need to be replaced every year. It needs to be maintained gently, not torn apart for every minor noise. Many of the so-called abnormalities we detect in older men are simply signs of aging, not disease. For example, PSA levels naturally rise with age, as the prostate enlarges slightly, just as wrinkles appear on the skin. Yet many doctors interpret that normal rise as a warning sign, triggering invasive biopsies that create more risk than benefit. Similarly, testosterone levels decline gradually after 50. This decline isn't always a crisis. In fact, trying to fix it with unnecessary hormone injections can disrupt natural balance, causing mood swings, heart issues, and dependence on artificial hormones. The same applies to vascular tests that claim to measure penile blood flow. Mild reductions in circulation are common in older men, but labeling them as disease leads to pills and procedures that may do nothing but cause side effects. Science tells us that the body's priorities shift after 60. The goal isn't to make every number perfect, it's to preserve overall stability. Think of it like tuning an orchestra. Not every instrument has to play at full volume for the music to sound beautiful. The harmony comes from balance, not intensity. Overdiagnosis disrupts that harmony. Studies in geriatric urology consistently show that aggressive testing does not extend lifespan for most older men. Instead, it increases stress hormones, weakens immunity, and lowers sexual confidence. That's why I teach my patients to distinguish between aging changes and warning signs. The key is context. A slow PSA rise in a healthy man is often harmless. The same number in a man with pain or weight loss might mean something else. Understanding the difference protects you from fear-driven medicine. Now I'd like to ask you, have you ever received test results that scared you only to find out later they weren't serious type 1 if yes or 0 if not yet? But you'll remember this advice next time. When men ask me, doctor, if I shouldn't test everything, what should I actually do? My answer is simple focus on habits that give your body fewer reasons to need testing in the first place. The short-term goal isn't to avoid doctors. It's to reduce unnecessary visits by supporting your natural male health every single day. First, stay hydrated. Dehydration thickens your blood slow's circulation and increases stress on the prostate and penis. Most men over 60 drink less than half of what they need. I tell my patients, if your urine isn't light yellow, your organs are working harder than they should. Second, move daily. Gentle walking, swimming, or even light stretching keeps blood flow strong and supports nitric oxide, the molecule that fuels erection and vitality. Third, control your stress. Chronic anxiety from medical fears can lower testosterone faster than age itself. Deep breathing, short naps, or a 10-minute walk outdoors can reset your hormones better than another prescription. Let me tell you about Henry, a 72-year-old retired teacher who came to me feeling exhausted. His previous doctor had ordered endless hormone and vascular tests, telling him his testosterone was too low for his age. Instead of another round of injections, we focused on movement, hydration, and relaxation. Within 3 months, his energy returned, his sleep improved, and his confidence in intimacy came back naturally without a single new test or pill. He told me, "Doctor, for the first time in years, I feel normal again." That's what real healing looks like. It starts with small, consistent actions, not endless testing. Before moving forward, I want to know, if you had to choose one daily habit to strengthen your male health starting today, what would it be? Drinking more water, walking 20 minutes, cutting late-night alcohol. Write your answer in the comments below and type 1 if you believe small daily habits can protect you better than another round of unnecessary tests. When it comes to long-term health after 60, the goal is no longer to chase numbers, it's to build a lifestyle that keeps your body, mind, and relationships thriving together. I teach my patients a system built on 5 pillars: nutrition, circulation, emotional connection, open communication with doctors, and acceptance of natural aging. Each pillar reinforces the others like the legs of a sturdy table. When one weakens, the balance falters. Start with nutrition. A diet rich in natural foods, leafy greens, berries, whole grains, and omega-3 fats reduces inflammation that silently damages blood vessels in the penis and prostate. Processed foods and excessive red meat do the opposite, clogging arteries and increasing hormonal imbalance. The second pillar is circulation. Moderate exercise, not extreme workouts, keeps vessels flexible and oxygen flowing. Think of your blood flow as the body's music. When it's smooth, everything else performs better. The third pillar is emotional connection. I've seen men regain erectile strength simply by reconnecting with their partners emotionally. Intimacy isn't just physical, it's communication, trust, and feeling safe enough to relax. That safety lowers stress hormones and naturally boosts performance. The fourth pillar is medical communication. Don't be a passive patient. Ask your doctor questions, request evidence, and refuse unnecessary tests. A collaborative relationship keeps you informed without fear. The fifth pillar is acceptance. Aging doesn't mean decline, it means adaptation. A mature man learns to honor his body's rhythm instead of fighting it. Let me tell you about Thomas, a 74-year-old widower who once lived in constant fear of prostate problems. Instead of obsessing over tests, he embraced this 5-pillar system. He changed his diet, walked every morning, reconnected with an old friend, and learned to ask questions at every appointment. 5 years later, his energy is steady, his lab values stable, and his confidence restored. He often tells me, "Doctor, I finally feel young in the right way." His story proves that lasting vitality isn't found in a clinic, it's built daily through awareness and balance. Now I'd like to hear from you. Which of these 5 pillars do you think you need most right now? Type 1 for nutrition, 2 for circulation, 3 for emotional connection, 4 for doctor communication, or 5 if you're still learning acceptance. When men reach their 60s and beyond, real strength is no longer measured by physical power or perfect test results. It's measured by wisdom, the courage to question, to listen, and to choose balance over fear. Throughout my years as a urologist, I've learned that aging gracefully is not about avoiding death. It's about protecting the quality of life that makes every remaining year worth living. You've heard today about 5 hidden penis and prostate tests that often do more harm than good after 60. And you've learned that health isn't a list of numbers on a lab sheet. It's a feeling of vitality that comes from understanding your body, respecting its changes, and refusing to let anxiety dictate your choices. When you know which tests to question, you reclaim control. You become an informed patient, not a passive subject. Remember, there's no single formula for every man. Your health should match your lifestyle, your goals, and your definition of happiness. The truth is, medicine can only guide you. You must lead the journey. I've seen men in their 70s and 80s regain joy simply by releasing unnecessary medical fears and focusing on living well. They laugh more, sleep deeper, and feel lighter because they no longer chase perfection. That's the kind of freedom I want for you. So as we close, ask yourself, what does healthy aging really mean to you? Is it a perfect test score or a body and mind that still let you wake up excited for each day? Type your answer in the comments below. Type 1 if you believe true health comes from informed balance, or 0 if you still think more testing equals more safety. I want to hear your thoughts. If you found this video helpful, subscribe for more conversations like this, where science meets compassion and where older men learn to take back ownership of their health. And remember, everything shared here is educational, not a substitute for professional medical advice. Always talk to your own doctor before changing any treatment plan. But never forget this: the most powerful medicine is knowledge combined with self-respect. Protect your body. Question what doesn't make sense and live the years ahead with strength, clarity, and calm confidence.